Danny Casalero's strange odyssey began when he interviewed Bill and Nancy Hamilton, the owners of a computer software company called Inslaw.
First of all, when was the Promise software developed and what was it for? But there's a big need for this kind of software.
The Hamiltons had developed a powerful program called Promise that they claimed revolutionized information management by law enforcement agencies. In 1980, the U.S. Justice Department purchased the Inslaw software to handle their millions of case files. Initially, the program earned high praise and handsome returns for Inslaw. Then the climate of justice suddenly changed.
What we'll do first is bring up the menu.
At the beginning of the second year of the 3-year contract, the Justice Department began to withhold payments from Inslaw. And they withheld a couple of $1 million from Inslaw. Drove Inslaw into Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
The Hamiltons then discovered that the Canadian government had acquired their software, despite the fact that Inslaw had never sold the program to Canada.
What sort of funny things started happening?
The Hamiltons told Casolaro that they were mystified by illegal sales of their software until they spoke to a man named Michael Riconosciuto. He claimed to have worked for the CIA on numerous top-secret projects. Riconosciuto agreed to talk to unsolved mysteries about the unauthorized use of Inslaw software by clandestine agencies.
Well, the parties that were involved in the distribution of this software were involved in covert operations, and they were involved in Nicaragua and Central America, and they were involved in operations in the Middle East. And yes, I have direct knowledge of funds from the sale of this product being used to finance those operations.
As early as August of 1989, the brewing Inslaw scandal had drawn the attention of Congress, and the House Judiciary Committee opened a formal inquest.
The report describes the committee's investigation into serious allegations that high-level Department of Justice officials were involved in a criminal conspiracy to force Inslaw, a small computer company, out of business.
Michael Riconosciuto began telling his story to committee investigators. Within a week of submitting his sworn affidavit to the committee, Riconosciuto was arrested on drug charges by agents of the Justice Department. He is currently being held in federal custody in Chicago, Illinois. While the drug conviction tastes Riconosciuto's credibility, the committee also heard from a witness with impeccable credentials, Elliot Richardson. Now legal counsel for the Hamiltons, Richardson was Attorney General under Richard Nixon. In 1973, Richardson had resigned rather than participate in the Watergate cover-up.
There is simply too much to be ignored. In the case of Inslaw, there's a spreading radius of circumstantial evidence which, at its outer reaches, entails a far more sinister kind of conspiracy than anything revealed in Watergate.
Do you have any information as to whether or not they acquired the Promise software?
After months of investigation, Casolaro believed he had uncovered an unsavory network of U.S. officials, organized crime members, and intelligence agents. He called it the Octopus.
Or is that being used by their intelligence operations?
Casolaro claimed the Octopus was at the root of not only the Inslaw affair, but the Iran-Contra scandal, BCCI, BNL, and even the now largely discredited October Surprise. In short, just about every major scandal of the 1980s.
After direct connections with some of the underworld crime figures.
The deeper Casolaro went in search of the Octopus, the more he found himself on intimate terms with shadowy characters.
Danny Casolaro stepped into a world that he didn't belong in. The type of people that he became involved with lie just as a matter of course. I think after a while, some don't even know what the real truth is. They lie, they cheat. There are people who've been involved in numerous murders, dealing drugs, dealing arms. And Danny Casolaro thought he could find his way through this labyrinth by himself. And that was a mistake.
Are you serious? I don't know. I don't think so.
A week before he died, Castellera told his brother he had been receiving frequent death threats.
These guys. Well, I don't know. I mean, I know a couple of them. They're the guys that I've been working with, my contacts, and they're calling me and saying, look, Danny, you're getting too close. You're going to get hurt. Back off. And I'm getting calls in the middle of the night from guys I've never heard of. I don't recognize their voices. I don't know where they're coming from. They're just saying, you are going to die. I'll tell you this, though. When I go to Martinsburg, if something happens to me or if I should get hurt, don't believe it's an accident.
With briefcases full of notes and documents, Castellera arrived in Martinsburg to meet with several informants and conclude his investigation. He had been tracking the finances of the Octopus and believed one of his new contacts would deliver key evidence.
Danny had a source there inside the IRS's computer data center that was giving him hard copy printouts of IRS information on certain specific targets that Danny was after.
William Turner? You are? Danny Castellera? Today?
The day before he died, Castellera met with another source, William Turner, a former employee of a major defense contractor.
You got some documentation? You got some for me? Driver's license.
According to Turner, he handed over paperwork documenting corruption that Castellera believed was tied to the Octopus.
Housekeeping.
Within 24 hours, Castellera would be found dead, and Turner's documents would disappear along with the rest of Castellera's papers. In response to the controversy surrounding Castellera's death, authorities in West Virginia convened a formal inquest, including a complete autopsy.
Assistant medical examiner for the state of West Virginia. He said, well, you know, he's already been embalmed, and that's going to make it a little difficult.